Hello again. My name is Cole Houston, and this is SV Lovecraft. Today I'd like to make a video talking about how I have my boat set up, and pretty much a boat tour, and how the way I prefer things. Discussion first, kind of explaining everything, talking about why I do things, the things that I prefer and don't. And then after that, I'd like to go through and show you kind of the progress of the boat, what the boat looks like on the average day to day, and sort of how I do things and what I like. So let's begin. All right. So sort of my philosophy with the boat and the reason I'm doing a lot of the work that I'm doing is I like things to be simple, renewable, basic, things that are easy to replace. I like as many things on the boat as possible, to have as many jobs as possible. I just like easy to maintain, replacement parts can be found anywhere, something like that. A monkey could fix it, So kind of keep that in mind as we're going through kind of how I have things set up and what I'm doing and why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. It's because I plan to live on the boat and travel and hopefully get to some pretty remote places, and I just want as many things on the boat as possible to just be just absolutely dead simple, renewable, and everything to have workarounds as possible. So with that, one of the biggest projects I've had recently is I'm taking the whole water system out of the boat as it is now. So the reason with that is because I was going through and just kind of looking in the tanks and looking in the hoses and things, and found a little bit of mold in all the hoses. So rather than go through all the tanks and clean them, because that's gonna be my drinking water, and worry about if I got it all, and you just never really, I don't trust it. So I don't want to not trust what I have. So I pulled the 2 saddle tanks out yesterday. I have a video maybe about that process. I had one more tank under the V-berth. That one I'm going to cut the top off of, seal it, and use the tank as use the lid as storage for trash. I'm thinking right now that makes sense. And let's get to it. I'll start taking you through the boat. All right, starting up on deck. Nothing extremely special. A roller furling Genoa. The raid boxes. I have my solar panel mounted up on deck here to keep it inboard and a little bit more protected from other boats and things bouncing around. Eventually I'm going to get a big soft solar panel, like a roll-up one to put on top of this bimini and another one to put on top of this bimini, just to help power everything. Radar. That's my dinghy setup. You have to excuse me, it's laundry day. But what we're really here for today, I'll have the cabin set up. So here's the companionway. As soon as you come down, first thing, electrical. I have the solar panel coming down, charging these house batteries. This boat has been rewired twice in its existence, and with that comes a lot of mislabeled switches and things. So I'm starting to figure out kind of what does what. A lot of these appear to do absolutely nothing. So figuring that out. Radios. Let's talk about radios for a minute. All right, so on the boat I have 2 handheld radios and VHF that goes to the top of the mast. I can control my VHF either from in the cabin here right at my chart table, or there's another plug-in I have for it and another remote I can use up at the helm. But to be honest, 99% of the time all I use are my handhelds. One stays on the boat all the time and one goes back and forth with me on the dinghy. It's just easier, it's more convenient, it's easy to bring with you. All right, moving past the radio now. This is my 500 watt inverter. This is I use just to charge cell phones, batteries, speakers, things like that, random little things. I'm eventually going to get a 3000 watt inverter and a convection oven. I'll talk about that in a moment, but for now, this is how I have my food storage set up. You can see I'm a little bit empty right now, but these two bins are food, and I have a tie down to strap everything down. These are all my tools I keep here in the quarter berth. And then moving forward from the aft cabin into the main saloon. All right, and here is the head on the starboard side, midships. And a stall shower with a shower sump. I'm gonna make this all foot pump operated, and I'm gonna install gravity fed tank, probably 5-gallon tank, for my hot water heater. That's right behind that board that runs off the engine. And that's gonna be for the shower mainly. And here we are in the main saloon with the most impactful change I've made to the boat, we'll say, for my own personal living. I took the whole water system out. Now I have a reservoir tank up here. I have a manual pump. I have a hand crank, or I can run it off a drill, an electric drill. This is just a siphon. Hook this up. And this is how I do my dishes. I get my drinking water, any fresh water I use for anything. And then when this tank starts to run out, that's where I have all my tankage. Bring my tankage over, tank the hose up, pump it back up, restart the siphon. That's my pressure water. And I like it because it's very flexible. I can move this hose all over the place, not just like a faucet. The way the boat used to be set up, had a normal pressure water faucet here. Right here it had a filtered drinking water faucet. And right here there was a foot pump fresh water. And I took all this out. All I have left now is my foot pump salt water that I use for starting dishes, things like that, washing my hands and everything. And then I use fresh water just to rinse. Move over here. This is my next biggest project. Right now I have a 3-burner propane stove with an oven. There we go. One thing that I'd like to do is take my whole propane system out. Now my next big project as it relates to the oven is I'd like to pull the whole propane oven out and replace it with a convection oven, electrical oven. That's what I want this new, more powerful inverter to run. And the purpose of that is because I don't want to worry about propane in the cabin. I don't want to worry about sourcing propane in weird places. Solar, wind generators, that'll all replenish convection anyway. And in addition to that, I sail alone all the time. So I don't want to have an open flame down below if I'm ever cooking and then have to run up top, check something, have an open flame down below. It's not something that I want to worry about. So pretty high on my list is I want to replace the propane stove with an electric convection oven. I've been looking into them. I can't find anything that really would fit my bill of what I'm looking for. So it's looking like I might have to just to make one, just kind of rig something up. But I'm still looking at the moment. I'm going to finish the water system the way I want it first. And then we'll see where that goes. All right, here I am standing on the port side of the boat in the saloon. You're facing forward. And here is my main kind of area where I sleep. I usually sleep on this side, and I like to get a little drop-in piece to square this off and make this a much bigger bed for myself. Then sort of use the table as a lee cloth. And underneath the 2 bunks is where I'm going to put most of my spare parts, where a lot of my water storage is going to be, tools that I don't use that much, just a lot of heavy things. I want to get the center of gravity in the boat as low as possible. So that's where the inspiration for that came from. All right, moving forward from the main saloon, we have what is, for my purposes, the hold. It used to be the V-berth. This is where I do all my clothes, electronics. Right now it's where all my hardware, a lot of my spare parts are, as well as further aft. hammocks, boogie boards, cushions, just my catch-all where everything goes. My major storage area, radar reflector, and come in here on the right, a wonderful cedar dry locker. And there you have it pretty much. That's my boat. That's how I have it set up. Alright, there you have it. It's a somewhat short and possibly slightly schizophrenic video. I had no sort of script or anything. I just went into it knowing kind of what I want to talk about. Hopefully I hit everything. I know there's going to be things I remember later that I wanted to mention but forgot. Either way, if you'd like to see any more of anything, questions about anything, leave them in the comments, and I'll definitely be reading the comments, responding to questions. I have no real schedule or plan or anything, so if anyone that has ideas, I'm open. So we'll see maybe what we can get into. Additional little notes: I did notice in my first video I said Portsmouth, Rhode Island. I'd like to correct myself and say Portsmouth is not in Rhode Island, it's in New Hampshire. I sailed the boat from Portsmouth, New Hampshire. So my apologies on that one. And as well as that, I called what was Labor Day Memorial Day. So I'd like to just address those two things. I'm aware of it, my bad, but what can you do? Such is life. So anyways, with that, thank you guys very much, and keep an eye out for the next video.